Hi, I am Maria Rafaelle Rola, and I will be discussing about the Canningville Climate Sustainability Policy. My presentation consists of the following: introduction about Canningville, the hotspot area in Canningville, local attributes of Canningville, the key sustainable issues, biophysical and environmental um, information about Canningville, my 6 principles, conclusions, and my references. Canningvale is a suburb in Western Australia with 22 kilometers away from the central business district of Perth. In 1970, it was a farming area, but now it is under the category of a medium residential area and the center of industrial hubs. The suburbs of Canningvale is managed by two councils, which are City of Canning and Gosnells. For the local attributes of Canningvale, Canningvale has a total population of 34,504, with a total families of 9,386 and a total dwellers of 11,053. And the area consists of cultural diversities such as English, Chinese, Australian, Indian, and Scottish. Canningvale has two key sustainable issues. First is urban development. The massive growing population in the Canningvale area is a contributor to the continuous urban development, which results in an increase in the contribution to various climate change effects. Another sustainable issue is the industrialization. As mentioned earlier, Canningvale is a industrial hub center. So as urban development progresses in the area, the industrialization and manufacturing industries are also thriving. There are a number of industrial companies located in Canningvale area. Moving forward to the biophysical and environmental characteristic of Canningvale. First, in terms of ecology, the soil type in Canningvale is heavy clay soil. The area consists of various trees, shrubs, perennial herbs, climbers, and ground covers. In terms of significant landscape, Banksia woodland is an important landscape in Canningvale as it is an habitat for the Quenda species and a feeding area for the black and red-tailed cockatoos. In terms of key species, for the floras, there is the coral gum, kojung, native grass trees, and the tall spear grass. And in terms of fauna is the quenda, cr- cranbeak black cockatoo, and the forest red-tailed black cockatoo. For my climate sustainability policy, the vision is for Canningvale to become a rich, sustainable, and climate resilient area by enhancing and promoting access to sustainable technologies, cultural and recreational areas, and rehabilitation of green spaces, and improvement of the health and well-being of its residents. The first principle is improving health and well-being of residents. There are no parks with outdoor exercise equipment in Canningvale. Most of the parks are passive parkland, pet parks, playgrounds for children only. Having outdoor exercise equipment, especially in public spaces like parks, is very beneficial, especially for adults. They will be able to do cardio exercise using the equipment, and at the same time, as they are doing the activities in an open area or green spaces, the brain releases hormones that helps them to relax. The goal of this principle is for the resident to have access to outdoor exercise equipment in every park in the area. In terms of the actions needed, first is to install durable and waterproof outdoor exercise equipment so that it will be used for long term. Coordinate with City Council for the installments of outdoor exercise to know the needed permits, who to coordinate with, etc. etc. Second, spread awareness and encourage residents by posting through the social media platforms of the councils, through the city council's website, and sending letters to each resident's houses regarding this new project. And last action is to partner with health department to inform the public about the benefit of doing outdoor exercises for their health. And in terms of indicator, first indicator is the increase in number of residents going to the park using the equipment. And as indicator, we can conduct survey and feedback about what the resident thinks of the project. For the second principle is the reduction in carbon emission contribution. In Canningville, there are few dedicated bicycle lanes along the road, and in terms of the pathway, it ends at one point and you have to transfer to another side of the road to continue your walk. So transportation is a big contributor to the greenhouse gas emissions, and having a bicycle lane and a walkable area are possible solutions to decrease GHG contribution. Sustainable transportation planning is important to combat issues related to greenhouse gases emission. In terms of the goal of this principle, it is to increase the number of bike lanes and walking paths in the area. For its action, first is to create dedicated bicycle lanes on the road. Second is the City Council will build a cycle station per area wherein residents can use and return bikes from the certain bicycle stations within the area of Canningvale. Next is to partner with community organizations like environmental groups and bikers to promote the advocacy and the project. And lastly is to increase awareness and engagement through social media postings, through the City Council website, and handing out of flyers to residents. And in terms of indicator, more users of the bike lanes and walking paths are the indicators for this principle. And lastly is the need to conduct a survey and provide feedback about the project. Next principle is enhance ecosystem sustainability. There are estimated of 30 parks reserves in Canningville. There are empty parks and reserves as they are damaged or no longer maintained. Well-maintained parks and reserves attract residents and visitors as well as various animals and plants. So the goal for this is to strengthen parks and reserves rehabilitation, and the action needed is to conduct park and reserve survey and inventory, coordinate with resident environmentalists and other experts about the best way to rehabilitate or improve the parks and reserves. Next is encourage involvement and engagement of residents for the advocacy and enhance awareness for the benefits of park and reserves within the community. In terms of indicators, it can be increase in number of fixed park and reserves and increase in the residents going to the parks and reserves. Access to affordable renewable energy technologies. Australia is transitioning to renewable energy through wind and solar energy as resources. According to Sander, most homeowners have solar panels installed in their houses and paying low electricity bill. But those houses that are paying for rental or leasing purposes are mostly not installed with solar panels, so they are paying higher prices for electricity. So the goal is to increase to about 50 to 60% of residents who install solar panels in their house. For the actions, partners and coordinate with companies to give various payment scheme for a household to be able to afford to get a solar panel based on their capacity. Second is to reach out to companies with quality solar panel products and negotiate with providing affordable solar panel prices for the whole area of Canningville. In terms of indicator, the growing number of households installed with solar panels, and of course with that feedback on how the experience was regarding the payment scheme or the quality of the solar panels. Access to areas for cultural events. There are few areas for cultural places or events that can be held on based on the directory of the map of both the city of Canning and Gosnells. Cultural events or places are very important as it is beneficial for both the resident and the city. Cultural events or places where diverse cultural activities can be held can bring economic drive as well as the cultural variation among residents. They can show their own culture and spread awareness of it. The goal is to conduct at least 5 to 6 major cultural events per year. In terms of action, first is to allocate or create a dedicated area for events, place, and various cultural activities to be held, promote and encourage residents to attend various cultural events, and coordinate with various cultural groups to throw an event to showcase their culture. In terms of indicator, the increase of number of cultural events being held in Canning Vale, and to monitor this is to conduct a survey and feedback about the project. Increase sports recreational area. There are few recreational areas in Canning Vale, and recreational activities are beneficial for maintaining the well-being and health of a person, and also with the available variety of recreational sports, one can discover which sports they can excel in while they are trying other sports as well. So the goal is to build at least 1 to 2 additional sports recreational in the area. The action needed is to coordinate with local sports athletes and sports enthusiasts to promote the area. And second is to coordinate with City Council and needed department for building the recreational area. In terms of indicator, is the increase of number of recreational building in the area and increased number of people going to the recreational area. In conclusion, the sustainability plan for Canning Bay lays out a vision for the community to become a shining example of sustainable living. The plan focuses on transforming the transportation, promoting eco-conscious lifestyle, and strengthening the community's resilience to climate change. Key goals include protecting the local environment and its biodiversity, improving the health of ecosystem, fostering cultural and recreational equity and diversity, increasing community engagement in sustainability efforts. Additionally, the plan prioritizes reducing carbon emission, improving residents' health and well-being, and ensuring access to affordable renewable energy.